Welcome to Machine Arena, where the world's most powerful machines reveal their strength. Today, we'll explore the art of demolition. Giant claws, presses, and shredders tearing apart metal, wood, and stone, showing how destruction clears the path for renewal. We begin with a man arrives with an old, worn-out car, ready to leave it behind as scrap. A massive crane approaches, its claw gripping heavy steel. With a sudden lift, the machine raises a huge chunk of metal high into the air. Then, with deliberate force, it releases the weight onto the car below. The impact is explosive. Panels cave in, windows shatter, and the frame twists. Again and again, the crane repeats the motion, each drop pounding the car into fragments, reducing it to nothing but broken steel and rubble. The camera turns to a small red four-door car, sitting still on the open ground. Approaching it is a massive yellow bulldozer, its wide blade lowered, its tracks rolling forward like a tank. With a slow, steady push, the heavy machine climbs onto the car. Metal bends and folds instantly, windows shattering as the roof gives way under the crushing weight. The bulldozer continues without pause, rolling its tracks across the car until it is nearly flat. Then, with deliberate motion, it reverses, dragging its steel tracks over the twisted frame once more. Back and forth, the cycle repeats, forward to crush, backward to flatten again. Each pass leaves the vehicle thinner, weaker, and less recognizable. In just moments, the bright red car has become nothing but a mangled slab of steel, erased by relentless weight and repetition. A large white crane carries a worn-out car toward the jaws of a massive press. The vehicle dangles helplessly in the air, swaying slightly before being placed inside the machine. With a deep mechanical growl, the press descends. In a single crushing movement, the car's roof caves in, doors twist, and glass shatters instantly. The metal groans as if in its final breath. Then, without pause, the press lowers a second time. The once recognizable car is no longer a vehicle, just a mangled block of steel and fragments. The transformation is complete in moments, leaving behind nothing but compressed wreckage. Slowly, the white crane returns, gripping the remains with its claw. With practiced ease, it lifts the crushed shell back into the yard, ready for the next step in the cycle of dismantling and recycling. Now we see the focus shift from cars to raw steel itself. A massive iron column, thick and unyielding, is lifted toward the waiting press. Its size alone suggests strength, as if it could withstand decades of weight and pressure. Yet, once placed beneath the crushing jaws of the machine, its fate is sealed. With a thunderous slam, the press forces down, bending and splintering the column in an instant. The surface cracks, flakes of metal breaking loose as the structure loses all integrity. Again, the machine strikes, grinding the once solid piece into fractured chunks. What once seemed indestructible is reduced to scattered steel, ready for recycling. It is a vivid reminder of how even the mightiest materials yield under the relentless precision of modern industry. After witnessing scenes of steel and machines reduced to fragments, we now turn to nature's own giants, massive tree stumps. Unlike the rigid strength of iron, these roots hold deep into the earth, gripping soil with a stubbornness that once challenged farmers and builders alike. The machine at work here is built with one purpose: to turn that defiance into surrender. Huge rotating blades spin with steady power, their teeth gleaming as the stump is guided into the chamber. The first bite tears through layers of wood, splinters flying outward as the grinder chews its way forward. Slowly, what once seemed immovable begins to vanish. Thick roots crack apart, fibers are shredded, and the stump is reduced to a stream of mulch. Again and again, the blades pull in the remains, leaving nothing but fragments behind. It is destruction, yes, but with purpose. The shredded wood will be reused, becoming compost, fuel, or material for new growth. From the hardest of obstacles comes something useful once more. Just as with steel and concrete, even nature's strongest barriers cannot withstand the relentless force of modern machines. We now move into the world of forestry, where towering poplar trees meet the efficiency of a powerful wood chipper. One by one, the trunks are guided into the machine, disappearing into its spinning blades. With each pull, the wood is shredded cleanly, breaking down into countless uniform chips. What once stood tall as living trees is quickly transformed into a steady flow of raw material. The rhythm is constant: feed, cut, release, until only neat piles of chips remain. It is a precise process, turning nature's strength into resources ready for paper, fuel, or construction. The next scene takes us to something much larger than a car. An old passenger bus, the kind that once carried dozens of people along busy roads. Its long frame and tall roof stand as if ready for another journey. But today, its destination is dismantling. A towering crane approaches, the operator guiding its heavy arm with precision. The claw rises high, then swings downward with force, slamming into the roof of the bus. Metal crumples under the blow, panels bend inward, and glass bursts from the windows. With a sharp pull, the claw grips and tugs, peeling back the roof like the lid of a can. What was once a sheltering cover is now torn and hanging in twisted pieces. Again and again, the process repeats: strike, pull, and tear. The machine digs into the sides, ripping sections away one by one. Each movement reduces the bus from a recognizable vehicle into scattered fragments. The seats, the windows, the body panels, all separated and tossed aside. In only a short time, the transformation is complete. What stood as a full-sized bus is no more, replaced by heaps of scrap ready for recycling. It's a dramatic reminder of how quickly massive structures can be broken down when steel meets steel, and how even the largest machines of transport eventually yield to the greater force of industrial dismantling. Now we come face to face with one of the most dramatic machines in modern industry, the car shredder. Its very name tells the story, and the sight does not disappoint. A vehicle, once complete and familiar, is fed into its enormous jaws. Almost instantly, the spinning teeth begin their merciless work. Metal screeches, glass bursts, and steel panels are torn apart with shocking speed. The roar is deafening, the clash of steel against steel echoing like thunder. Yet there is something mesmerizing about the rhythm. Bite after bite, second by second, the car is consumed until nothing recognizable remains. What emerges is not waste, but potential. Every fragment is carried along conveyors for sorting. Strong magnets pull away steel. Lighter systems separate plastics, and aluminum is reclaimed. Each material is given a second life, destined to return as part of new machines, construction, or everyday products. This is recycling at its most powerful, efficient, large-scale, and unrelenting. Watching the process reminds us of the hidden value within what many would call junk. The car shredder doesn't simply destroy, it transforms. In a matter of moments, a vehicle that once carried families or traveled highways is broken down into resources for the future. The journey continues as the fragments move along the conveyor belts, ready for the next stage of renewal. What appears to be the end is really the beginning of another industrial cycle, where nothing is truly lost, only reshaped for what comes next. Finally, we watch precision in action, a pulverizer breaking concrete and steel into dust and fragments. Where once stood walls and pillars, now lies rubble, ready to be recycled or removed. Demolition, like construction, is part of progress. Across America, old factories and stadiums have fallen this way, making room for new skylines. Each strike feels final, yet necessary. It reminds us that every era has its monuments, and every monument its time. Machines like these ensure the past clears a path for the future. And that brings our journey through these powerful demolition machines to an end. Thank you for watching and sharing this time with us. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to Machine Arena for more incredible stories of industry.